Welcome to Circle Jerks, a roundtable discussion for all things nerdy, geeky, maybe sometimes sporty. We'll see how that goes. But the most important thing you need to remember is that I'm right, they're all wrong, and there we can start. All right.
All right. Welcome to the circle. Here we roll.
This is how we roll.
This is how it goes.
So, unless you've been living under a fucking rock for the past around month and a half, 2 months, everyone knows that DC has relaunched all 52, thank fucking Christ, of their comics. And there's no excuse whatsoever for you not to have read at least the first issue of your favorite Nerd Boy comics. Today, for the most part, we're going to be covering Action Comics 1 through 3 and Detective Comics 1 through 3. Here's a surprise, we're going to be covering them, so if you haven't read them, 1, you're a fucking idiot, and 2, there will be spoilers.
Lots of them. Absolutely. So the main point we're looking for here today is which is better. Who's going to fire the first shot?
I'm going to fire this shot because obviously Batman's better. The first 3 of Detective Comics have not changed a hell of a lot of the way Batman did, but made him grittier, a little bit darker, and cut right to the damn chase and cut the fat out of what we wouldn't like in the Batman universe to start with.
I will say that the twist and everything have made it a lot more not so blatantly gay.
I find that offensive.
Listen here, you little rainbow.
This isn't Batman and Robin, Bill. We're talking about Detective Comics, all right?
Detective Comics. You know what? It is a great one. I was asked earlier today when we were all trying to just get our pregame going on with this, what I thought was better. And it is a tough fucking decision between Action Comics and Detective. But goddamn it, I'm gonna have to suck the kryptonite cock on this one and go with Action. I like how everything's changed.
Right.
Batman's gotten Detective is Batman being fucking Batman,
right.
Just more balls out and fuck your mother about it. Action
is a complete overhaul.
Total overhaul. Mom, Paul Kent, fucking, he's out on his own. The suit, I love the fucking suit. People are like, oh, it's fucking stupid.
No.
That is I'm a Smallville whore. That makes sense to me.
So I went to Hot Topic, bought a Superman shirt, found a cape of Krypton, and buildings. I mean, that's not really anything new. I could go out to the mall right now, find some kid sitting outside waiting for a ride. Looks like that.
I mean, not everyone can wear a rubber fucking suit with nipples painted on it.
There'll be no Joe Schumacher bullshit in this.
Just because you two share a name doesn't mean you can have his back.
What I've found,
I don't have his back, trust me.
Detective Comics, just the reoverhaul of Batman is doing what you already know and familiar with, just better.
Yeah, and
less, and also just, Batman in the final couple years just got so confusing. Every other issue, even though you were following a storyline, you would read one part of Batman R.I.P. and then go to the next one and have no idea what they were talking about. Oh. And this is just keeping beautifully in line. It's more the final page of Detective Comics issue number 1 is probably the most shocking ending I've ever seen.
Oh God, who the fuck saw that coming?
Yeah, it introduces us also to one of the probably most sadistic villains of all time, who may even rival the Joker in his absolute despair of all things.
The Dollmaker is fantastic.
One of the newest additions to the New 52, and god damn was it welcome.
And seriously,
Absolutely.
We needed a new villain.
Now on the flip side of that fucking coin, they have made Lex Luthor the best Lex Luthor there has been. I say,
with a mixture of the Rosenbaum vibe and the old vibe.
I just think they made him look fat and bloated with
He doesn't look fat and bloated. They went for the classic. He looks
like a fucking walking monster commercial. Listen, with his little energy drink behind the glass.
Wait, you're the fucking fan of Unbreakable. You know the rules of a comic book. Square fucking jaw, rounded face with astounding features and some form of impediment.
I just don't like my villains doing promos for freaking Monster.
He's not doing promos for this fucking Monster.
It's just showing.
He's going, hey, excuse me for a second.
Right.
I'm the one that's trying to betray the world.
Towards the reader.
Fuck the rest of them.
Under the guise of helping it. It is classic Lex Luthor, but it's nothing that you haven't seen before.
Plus the guy.
I'm gonna say it is something we haven't seen before. This Lex Luthor is died already to the government. He's not the rich tycoon that Superman's going after. Finally, this Glenn Morgan person is obviously the guy who truly has Metropolis. They called him Mr. Metropolis in the first issue. Mm-hmm. So Lex Luthor is different now. He's like more science, government based, which I know he did become in the old days, but that's where we're starting now.
We're starting out with the
why does he have the rocket ship? And know about Krypton and Clark doesn't. I mean, I know he's gotten some outside info, but
I'll give you the point on his being brazen and definitely doing that. But
and then them just testing Superman's limits.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, let's just fuck him up with sarin gas and electric chair and just shoot his ass a couple times with these machine guns.
They're both great. Like, they both were, I think, desperately needed. Obviously, the 52, the whole universe was desperately needed. I love what they've done with Superman. Love the suit. Mom and Pa Kent, all that good stuff. Dead. Brilliant. Fantastic. But my heart, I'm still going to have to go with Batman. Just the ending of just the Joker's face being nailed to the wall. Had it on. They're both. I love them both. They're both fantastic. I'm gonna have to say, but I think Batman. I'm gonna go with Brian. And,
I'm glad there's somebody with some common sense.
What I'm saying is, the Joker's face just chilling at the end of Detective was huge. Let's say, the man can stop a bullet. The motherfucker got hit with a bullet train. Got hit with a bullet train into a building. And this is when his powers are still developing, so he isn't the most super badass human being on the world. Well, I mean,
here's the thing, though. They both went for an awesome level of shock factor. In issue number 1, the last thing we were ever expecting was Superman to get caught by Lex Luthor at 8 o'clock like General Lane wanted. Yep. The last thing we're expecting in Detective Comics number 1 is to see the Joker's cut off face planted to a fucking wall. Oh, I mean, it's kind of which level of shock factor is bigger for you. And honestly, I'm going to have to say, as far as shocking is going, Batman is always going to win out because Batman's always going to be more gruesome.
Oh, yeah.
Batman just takes your nightmares and makes it reality.
Superman
just takes reality and makes it Superman. I mean,
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm going to say, and especially now, let's jump to number 3 here. Just look at the cover, if you can catch that at all there. That is an angry mob of average citizens wanting Superman to get out of the country and out of the world, which is
I do like the immigration issue being put together for the Action Comics. That was
topical.
Very brilliant on their part.
I like it. It kind of goes back into the... Oh, I'm sorry, Joel. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Actually, I'm not really fucking sorry. I was just trying to be polite.
I appreciate the camera.
But, I like how it's... No, like...
Write this down, and you actually apologize for that.
Yeah, well, you know what? Write it fucking down. We're lucky you got evidence. No, but it goes back to, like, the world of the Supermen and all that. It kind of shows, because the world was raising up, saying, we want all these Kryptonians the fuck out of here.
Right.
So it's not ignoring the fact that the world is just not fucking ready for Superman. It's not ready for it.
And it's not ready for Batman either.
Oh, fuck no, it's not.
It wants nothing to do with a Dark Crusader. Here, basically, in all honesty, my ultimate opinion on both sides is that they're both perfect for what they're doing.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
The only reason Action is going to win out for me is my ultimate love for the old Blue Boy.
You see,
but at the same time, and I will admit, when I get my comics, Detective is the first one I run to. Because, you can't beat holding a marled up, leather-faced looking James Gordon with Batman going, "What have you done to him?"
Oh, I actually did it too. I was freaking out.
You can only beat that with a swarm of Jokers swinging on the Batman.
Bunch of leather-faced Jokers.
Batman versus Joker just to prove he's real.
My thing with Superman is that I was a Boy Scout. And if I wanted to hang out with Boy Scouts, I would go touch them by being a Scout. I don't need to read about it.
But he's no longer a Boy Scout.
His arrogance is a little refreshing, but he still cares too much about simple things that just elude most people, and they don't really translate into anything better for Superman.
Him against corporate evil? I think that's
him against corporate evil with no plan. But you're missing the whole point is that he has this evil agenda, I'm going to take down corporate America, but he doesn't actually know how he's doing it. He's just a smart-ass little kid with no guidance, running around, bulletproof.
Right
You
here.
have an aimless youth
Indeed.
running around trying to take down corruption as opposed to a methodical detective taking down the grit and grime of a city.
You just
Well, yeah,
discredited
but I mean-
your statement. An aimless youth who, with an obvious goal to take down. How is he aimless if his goal is to take down corruption in Metropolis?
Well, because you walk up to a building and hold somebody over without the
That's
eyes.
not aimless.
Well,
that's just intimidation.
Aimless is not knowing due process. You
And that's
drop a
also
people
something.
cartoon
That
on
right there, Superman holding Glenn Morgan up in the air and chucking him. That's something the old school Superman, which is one of the reasons new Action Comics is so wonderful, is that. Well, I better go talk to Mom and Pa and eat some apple pie before I decide if I should punch this guy.
I do
or
not miss that at all.
I don't miss that at all.
There's
There's no Tom Welling cheek flaring of uncertainty.
But how is he having a difference when he's taking down corruption without any idea? So he holds Glenn Morgan above the building and drops him and catches him. He still walks free and he turns the entire city against him. He has no plan. He's
scared the fuck out of
not
Glenn
aimless.
Morgan.
So was what my point
No, his
was.
plan
Yeah, his
was to
goal,
scare the
okay, so
fuck
he
out
may
of
not be
Morgan.
aimless in his search for Glenn Morgan. He's aimless in his ability to actually carry out a plan.
He carried out his plan. He wanted to scare the fuck out of the guy. I guarantee you, when Superman caught him, his pants were full. And I'm not talking about the front. His dick sunk in and his ass spread
That's
out.
how he be
So
if he-
his
if he
goal
got
was to
rid of
make
the
Glenn Morgan
corruption.
piss himself, which he succeeded in admirably. Meanwhile, hundreds of citizens of Metropolis still suffer under corruption.
Have you
and now they're
not read
throwing
the
bricks
fucking
at
Batman?
him.
Oh, Batman's entire thing is just scaring the piss out of bad people.
But he gets them arrested. He doesn't just drop them, go back in, and change his suit and go to the fucking newspaper.
Or just fucks
He
them up.
brews in
It's
his
because
cave and gets them caught.
Batman's never had the balls just to go grab freaking Donald Trump, hold him by his stupid toupee, and drop him off a building.
It's probably a pretty
I
sure.
would money to see that.
I would-
I agree.
All right, everybody gets a
wrap
final
up.
word.
Final word.
Brian.
Shout outs.
My final word is Detective Comics is better because it literally gave me exactly what I wanted without having to work for it. As the prequel, obviously setting back with Action Comics, literally makes you wait to see the man that you truly worshipped as a child.
Bulldozer.
Detective Comics #2 made me scream "Holy fuck!" at the end of it. Him holding Jim Gordon. #3 was still fucking amazing. #1 was fantastic with the Joker's face. Action Comics, from the second I turned the page to the second I put down that page of #3, my mouth was open because it was just like an entirely new. It was a new comic with a familiar face.
He was just eating.
You, sir, can suck a dick. I did not interrupt your Batman blowjob fest. Don't interrupt my Superman.
There you
blowjob
go.
fest. Okay? Like I am.
No interrupting the final thoughts.
No interrupting the final thoughts. Hand swat for you.
I apologize for interrupting your final word.
Yes.
Now that you've taken my ADHD ass off course, I was saying that 1 through 3 on Action, my mouth was open. It was crazy. I loved every second of it. There wasn't a wasted minute. There was no useless banter that you saw in a lot of the old DC comics. And let's just face it, I love the old DC comics. But in
Me too,
Batman
of course.
or Superman, Detective or Action, whatever you want to call them, there was an overwhelmingly useless amount of banter.
My God, yes.
Now they're straight to the fucking point. And it doesn't matter who you're a fanboy of, because it's Coke and fucking Pepsi. And you can go however the fuck you want to go with it. If you're a fan of Detective, you're a fan of Action, I like fucking both. Both with original sugar, though, because the fucking corn syrup shit is bullshit. And this is the Mexican Coke and the Pepsi throwback. And they're both
Wow,
fucking great,
absolutely.
and they both go down easier than the old shit.
Word.
I'm a fan of Action a little bit more, but both of them are fucking equals in my book because they both entertain the fuck out of me. They both suck you in. It feels like you're watching a movie and it's
Yes.
still fucking image on both of them. You can watch any of the the Warner Brothers premiere DC animated movies, and they are in the same quality as these fucking comic books are now. I love them both, but
So you're
Action
leaning-
Comics gets just a hair bit more because it's a new story with the old comic.
Batman is better, but hell of a job on Superman Action Comics.
Word. I'm going to give the ultimate edge to Action. Batman is beautiful. Batman, I mean, we can all just sort of stand around in a circle jerk and talk about how great and gush all over Batman is. Because
Whoa! He hit fat.
Come on now,
He
let's
hit
all join
fat. If it would have just been an air jerk, we're good. But there was fat. Luckily,
We digress.
my dick literally became a vagina.
don't get me wrong, we are just getting better, tighter awesomeness of what we already had before. With a few new bells and whistles put in. The story, and here's where this is where it shifts for me. The story is great, and it does have some twists and some head scratching to it, but it's still a very just straightforward Batman story.
Absolutely.
This has made me read it a couple of times to kind of catch what the overall thing is that they're going for.
That's just 'cause you're
By
slow.
3, right? I just think Action Comics right now is running a little more complex story, which I'm going to get Grant Morrison's writing of just kind of dropping you little clues, not painting it in a big wide picture. This is a little harder to pick up on what the overall tale is going on. This is more straightforward. They're both fucking wonderful, but I'm gonna give the edge to comics for the beautiful, fucking gorgeous overhaul of a classic, iconic character. So here's Superman or Action Comics for me. Here's Detective.
So we can all agree that DC Universe has definitely been rebooted in a fantastic way.
DC's the best it's ever been.
Even though you two obviously
Drops
are
all the
fucking
writers.
morons and don't know what
That's-
you're
Hey,
talking
I
about.
started the
definite,
show that
yes,
I was
for sure.
right, and I'm
So-
gonna stick with that.
Hey.
I'm going to stick with the fact
So-
that he's right because he agrees with me.
Well,
I'm gonna say this is a conspiracy
That's
started
it
by
for
you
us.
two.
Listen,
So
you
yeah,
got it,
that's-
brother. What
we
the
wrapped
fuck?
up,
So
right?
we have
That is
we have
it.
circled around.
That is it
We
for
have
the
jerked.
circle. And
I'm Chris Optional Gray. This is Jeezy.
Jeezy.
This is Bill Delgallo, the Billdozer. Brian Kaminsky.
who's Polish.
The Polish
That's
power.
true. I'm sorry.
Let the debates continue. See?
Peace.
Mazel tov, bitches.